Hey guys, Barry here, and welcome to your gaming station, NintendoImpactGaming. And today we have a special guest. Well, today for us it is Halloween, and we have Lewis here from the game Twisted Fusion with Leuvsion, if I'm correct.
That is all correct, and yes, this is very spooky.
Yes, it is very spooky. Happy Halloween. Merry Christmas.
on this fateful night.
Yeah. Are you enjoying your Halloween so far?
It's been quite uneventful, to be fair. I've had no trick-or-treaters.
Well, you actually had one for the first time. Well, I've had one in years. That's it. So, it doesn't bother me. More sweets for me, so that's the way I see it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's what I was thinking, yeah, because I did buy a box of sweeties, as it were, just in case.
Yeah.
But they're all for me now.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know who you are, so tell us about your upcoming game as well. Tell us about your company.
Cool. First up, there is no company. It's a lie. The name Leuvsion, that's just my alias, basically. So the game is Twisted Fusion, coming out on the Wii U.
Ah, it rhymes. It rhymes.
Yeah, it's all a happy coincidence.
Yeah.
Comes out this Thursday, which is pretty awesome because it's been in the works for years, and it's not just myself who's been making it. There's a bunch of other people as well. But as I said, there's no actual company, so we're just kind of getting together. We probably should have done it properly, as it were. Like set up a business, set up, a company or whatever. Other indie developers seem to have this thing much well better together, as it were.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a handful of people come together to make this game. And yeah, it's coming out soon.
Yeah, if you haven't seen already, I do have exclusive early hands-on. Thank you again. Much appreciated. And as you can see, I do perfect the voice acting in the game, so...
Yeah, I mean, because there isn't any actual voice acting in the game. So I was very happy to see this realised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I saw other people playing online, early hands-on, and it's like, they're just kind of, skipping through everything. Yeah. And that's it. It's like, now is my chance to be creative. Why not do some funny voice impressions?
You got to stand out on the internet. It's
exactly,
a very competitive market.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be different, you have to be creative.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, or else you'll just blend into the crowd.
Yes. So, I know you have a very long experience in creating video games. I know from, I'm guessing, like, JavaScript days as well.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, I've made some very early smartphone games using Java.
Yeah.
It's just funny. We were talking about this, and I don't mean to plug so early in a show.
Oh, wow.
Exactly, yeah.
This bit I'm going to edit out.
Oh, no. Myself and Ian were just... Because we were talking about this yesterday, but it was something which we made about 10 years ago, I think it was. And that's going back a bit. And this was a little phone game, but this was before we all had iPhones and Androids and such.
It was called Pokemon Stay.
Oh, man, it was Pokemon Go, actually.
Yeah.
It wasn't really. It didn't use GPS or anything. It was just like an advanced Tamagotchi Digimon thing. And yeah, you raised monsters and you could evolve them and you could set them off with a little tower. So that was kind of like the prototype to the monster stuff in this game.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah, So I realised I kind of went off on that question. So yeah, in terms of development, it wasn't just that little game I made. So way back, so almost as early as I started started playing games, I got some software from my dad. So he was kind of on the ball on this one. He brought home this little program once called Click and Play, because I was really into the PC as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically let you make games by, you just drag and drop. You put pre-created characters down. I mean, you could make your own, but it came with like hundreds of them as well. And you could, put them in the little playfield, and you could kind of script it while playing it, which was ingenious. And I don't think any of the current game makers do this. So you could like hit the play button, and the game would run, and then your character would like fall and hit the floor, and it would go, oh, what do you want to happen when your character hits the floor? I go, okay, I want him to stop. Okay, and then he stops. And your game carries on. And like you press the space button and the game goes, oh, what do you want to happen when you press the space button? And you get like a list of options. It was really nifty little thing, really. And that kind of got me into it. And eventually I started working my way up. from tool to tool. But yeah, ever since, I've been playing games, but I've also been making games, and they've been mostly just for myself and my close friends. But I've always had that in me, and I think I started to take development more seriously when Apple unveiled the iPhone 3G and the App Store which came with it, if I'm getting that right.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, they made a very good argument to like, okay, this is a platform where developers will be easily able to actually make money. They'll be able to sell their good apps to people, and it's going to be very easy because everyone who has one of these phones is going to have an activated iTunes account, which isn't the same nowadays. And so they're all set up for it, and it's like one tap purchases and all that, and you got a nifty touchscreen and blah blah blah. I was like, okay, if I kind of crack on now, focus. There's this could be a good opportunity. I mean, it was a fun hobby, and it didn't make me any money though. But I kind of learned some proper coding, as I put it. I learned Objective C and Cocoa and blah 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 and other bits and bobs. And I started making iPhone games, and then some friendly tools came back down, and I didn't have to do any proper programming anymore, which I like. And so yeah,
no one does.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's horrible stuff. It's, especially when it's like mostly yourself in terms of the development, as in like the coding or whatever. It's just so time consuming. Unless you've got a team, I would. Well, actually, I don't know. Push people away from it. No, if you like the idea, jump on it. It's great. But yeah, I love making games. It's kind of the moral of the story. And when, like, I've always had an eye on Nintendo because, in terms of playing games, they were always my favorite company. Always followed them. Always had the Nintendo consoles and the portables. So when I think it was one fateful GDC, and they unveiled something called the Nintendo Web Framework. At the same day, they opened up a little page on their website, which you had to find a link to, and it was basically like, oh, if you like to register interest in being a Nintendo Web Framework developer, put in your contact details and your credentials. And it was just this form online you could fill in. I was like, oh, right, brilliant. Again, this is the moment. I got to get on this and talk myself up and whatever.
Yeah.
And so I did that. It took ages to hear back. It's like a couple of months or so with nothing. So I assumed nothing came of it. Had a call from Nintendo, which blew my mind at the time. Got all the OKs and such. Started making Twisted Fusion proper before it was even announced. And then about 6 months after that, I launched with the Kickstarter to help fund the development kit and some of the other core bits. But that was essentially what that Kickstarter was all about.
Sounds pretty cool.
So yeah, so that's kind of a long-winded answer to your developer question.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for coming on.
We covered the bases.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. I don't care anymore.
Got the plug for the show.
Yeah.
And we've got the release date down, so I think we're good.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I was saying to you before, like, I think what first caught my attention of the game was the music. And yeah, no, because like I'm a musician myself. I love music from video games in general. Like, I think Nintendo does the best music overall in video games, hands down.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think like Super Mario Galaxy just blew me away.
Oh, yes.
Like, to me, that is probably the greatest game of all time. Number 1 and 2. I can't pick. But yeah, but the soundtracks in those games are just fantastic.
Yeah, and they seem to be getting even better and better, which is bizarre.
Yeah. And what I love as well, they do a lot more jazz, which I love jazz music myself. And
3D World as well, that was pretty good on the jazz.
Yeah.
And the Mario Kart 8.
And if you don't know, the outro for this here podcast is actually one of the theme songs from 3D World.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So exactly. Yeah, so the composer of this game, it's not me who did everything. It's a guy called Jonathan Adamick. So do look him up if you like what you hear in the game. He does absolutely fantastic work. I was basically really lucky to get him to do this project. I think the amount I was able to pay him and we was all up front. It wasn't like a sneaky turnaround saying, "Oh, actually, I'm not going to front this." It's a lot less than what he gets doing his current gig as a musician. Because especially if you just look at that Kickstarter project and realize a fairly small portion of that went into the music, it's like, wow, I'm really impressed what we got at. I really like that. And I think the reason, well, one is because Jonathan's just a fantastic guy, but we also worked together on kind of the prequel mini game version of this game. Which
is that for iOS, isn't it?
It is. It's a very old iOS game.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not even sure it's still up there. I think my Apple developer account's expired. It might be. Well, that's the thing. I was so deep down in Wii U development. I was like, I mean, I could just renew it for the sake of it, but I'm not. I don't have any plans to do anything with this stuff, and it's all showing its age now. So I might as well just, wave goodbye to the fond memories, and I'll jump back if I decide to change my track again in the future. But yeah, he did the soundtrack for that game when it was a little iPhone game, and he's really gone up since. I mean, it was great stuff even back in the day, but he's doing even greater and better things and huge projects now. But I think because we did that game together, and I was trying to get all the core people back in to do this much bigger project, he was on board, and he seemed to really get a kick out of doing, because this is his first console game, so he was getting a kick out of that as well. So I was really lucky to get that guy on board. A question for yourself, actually, because the soundtrack isn't what you would necessarily expect if you just saw the visuals of the game.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't kind of mix, not in a bad way, but it's like, it's like completely two different worlds, if you get me.
Yeah, that's exactly. So for yourself personally, do you think that mix works?
For the game,
feel free to say if you don't.
Yeah, no, I think it does work for the game.
Brilliant, yeah, because it was obviously very deliberate. Because I mean, we could have very easily gone down a chiptune route, like what the soundtrack you expected. And even though it's a very silly game, it's some girls with some water pistols, fighting evil. I thought giving it a more like bombastic, epic soundtrack would, I don't know, just make it feel more like a larger adventure. And I guess just give it a bit of its own character, opposed to being, it's yet another retro game.
Yeah, but what I love about it, it's like it has that big orchestra feel, It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Also, did you notice there is two slightly different versions of that overworld theme, depending whether it's day or night?
I'll have to find out after.
Yeah, it's subtle, but it gets a little bit more spookier as it's topical right now in the nighttime.
Well, that people know of, but maybe we're lying. Maybe we're in the daytime.
Well, when it's nighttime in the game,
yeah,
and it's topical because this is the special Halloween episode, of course.
Yeah, and there is also, if I'm correct, what is a Block Drop X Twisted Fusion? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, well, I guess that's how it's spelled. I like to think it's pronounced Block Drop Cross Twisted Fusion, but no, that's all right. That's like the ever-going argument with games with that in the title X's.
Or it could be 10.
Exactly, yeah. Why not?
It could be the sequel. So, like, what happens in between then? I don't know. So yeah, like, tell us, what was it like working with RC Mad? I call him.
I've not covered those sort of terms yet. I very formally call him RC Maniac. No, he's a great guy to work with. So how that came about is, and it's a bit bizarre when you think about it. So my side gig at the time, and so this was at very early on in Twisted Fusion's development, I feel, and I'm not even sure it was really even announced at this point. But I was also doing Nintendo, writing new stories and doing a podcast over at a site called Infendo. And I did a podcast interview with RC Maniac and so we got onto proper talking terms, as it were. And after the show, we were just talking around, talking about development and such. And I was telling him about had some stuffs in the works, and you never know, maybe we'll be working together one day, like an off-the-hand comment. And we carried on a good kind of good communication after that point, and we talked on Skype every now and again. And because I knew he was already in the scene and he already had games out, he was a very handy person to know whenever I had many questions which came up. And anyway, eventually, I was trying to think of ideas on how I will, at one point, try and promote Twisted Fusion, because I had a tight budget, but none of that was allocated towards like promotion of the game. So I was trying to be thrifty and think of free ways to promote the game. And one of the ideas I came up with is, why not make a mini game with Twisted Fusion in the title, and the site which cover that, cover news and reviews of it, technically will be little ads for Twisted Fusion.
Yeah.
Assuming it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And because they would have to give some sort of context, it's a crossover, it's about this game, it's coming up. It's like, aha, it's a sneaky Trojan horse. So yeah, it's very sinister, really. But the non-sinister version of it is, I actually did obviously play Block Drop, and genuinely thought it was a good game, and also genuinely thought, this is the sort of, it's got that nice core to it of a classic puzzle game, and you could do like different things with this. You could add different elements. You can put different twists to it. Make another version of it, because I always liked that idea. And so yeah, those ideas came together, and I started making Block Drop Cross Twisted Fusion, and that was basically RC Madiak gave me like the full project of Block Drop. So I had like the full source code, all the graphics, everything, and I just kept tweaking it. And eventually, of course, I did change the game up quite a bit, because at first it was kind of going to be like a reskin with just like new levels, but Twisted Fusion graphics. And then I thought, okay, I don't want to kind of just be that guy. So I realized, wouldn't it be cool if you could kill the enemies as well as saving, the main thing? And that completely changed everything up. And it made the game a lot harder. It made the puzzles kind of more intricate. And yeah, that kind of where everything clicked. And I started just making puzzle after puzzle at that point. Everything just seemed to make sense. So yeah, that was a really fun project to do. Although in retrospective, probably wasn't the best move to do. I mean, it probably wasn't the greatest marketing move, in terms of that game came out 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of gap between that and my final game. It obviously delayed me finishing that game. Obviously wasn't the reason for the big delay. But it was fun to do. And I play it every now and again. And yeah, I'm happy it's there. And it was fun to do. And I guess more importantly, it kind of let me get my training wheels out in terms of Wii U development.
Yeah,
because it was a thing which actually got certified and got out on the eShop. So yeah, that was great. So I managed to do that before the big project.
Yeah, it's basically a stepping stone for yourself. For creating a game on Wii U. For the big platform, which is your game.
Yeah.
Which is coming out this week.
Yeah.
Plug in there.
Yeah. We need to get an extra one of them in there at the end of the show, and then I think we're good. So, actually, the other thing worth mentioning, and this isn't a plug, is
your podcast.
No. So this bit isn't. I'm sure there'll be more plugs later. The tool RC Madiak used to make Block Drop is actually the same tool I'm using to make Twisted Fusion. Very different games, but the exact same program, which is something called Construct 2. And so that was also very helpful in the sense, me completing that game gave me a better appreciation to some of the bits in Construct to make Twisted Fusion.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was cool. And yeah, it's a little bit of a tangent, but so I spoke about the Nintendo Web Framework before, and there's been a few games which have used it on the eShop. Not like a huge amount, though, is my understanding.
Yeah, there's a few games.
And yeah, most of them are mini games, I feel. And so I feel I've really kind of stretched the almost the intention of the Nintendo Web Framework. Even you know, if you just think about like how it's called and what you might expect to come out of it, like Twisted Fusion is this gigantic game. Regardless of whether it's good or not, I mean, it's this huge platform RPG thing.
It's terrible, guys. It's terrible. I'm only messing.
But then, whatever. But I mean, in terms of its scale, though, just like by the numbers, it's a big game.
It's bigger than Breath of the Wild.
Probably not. I wonder how long it takes to run from one to the other. Nah, nowhere near. But yeah, it's a big game. So it's funny for me at least. Like you've got that, and the other probably the more intended uses of that platform are like these mini game things, or like these whatever. I don't know if that's like it's a good thing, like, oh, well done, Lewis, you managed to get a lot out of this thing, or like, oh, Lewis, you chose the wrong tool. Why did you make this in Unity?
Yeah, but see, the problem is with Unity as well that I'm aware is like if it's like it's a pretty powerful tool, like visually and stuff, it's pretty impressive looking.
Yeah.
But you don't have to say anything, you don't have to comment on this. But from my understanding, the RAM on Wii U is pretty bad compared to other systems.
Well, just by the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Wii U has 2 gigs of RAM in it. Only 1 gig is available for games.
Yeah, and 1 is for OS, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. Yeah, and that's not developer information. That's just those stats are out there.
Yeah, but like that just shows you, like, and then for the apparent rumors, for the Switch, 4 gigabytes.
Yeah, and like the big question with that 4 is just how much the OS uses. Is it a gig again? Or did they do the thing where it sold 2 for the gig for the OS and 2 for the games? Because then we just got 2 gigs for games.
Yeah, like my guess is 2 gigs for OS, for like using different apps, like maybe Netflix or something, or video player for talk's sake, whatever the hell they're going to add on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I feel they're going to need it with, if they're going to try and use some sort of tablety features and not have it perform as slowly as the Wii U can on some things. They're going to want to give that stuff a decent amount of RAM as well, even when the game's running in the background.
Yeah, but look, and say now, like you see Nintendo making their own games, like Mario Kart 8 on Wii U. It's one of the best looking games I think of this generation.
Yes,
and like it takes the Wii U nearly to its like full potential.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so good looking. Yeah, so tell me about your favorite horror games anyway, since it is Halloween.
Oh, that's a good one. First thing that comes to mind, not the spookiest game by any means, but Resident Evil 4.
That game is just, it's I don't know, is it scarier or is it harder to play? It frightens me to play, like.
Oh, really? What 4 frightens you to play?
No, actually, like the gameplay itself, it's tough to play on Wii anyway.
Oh, I quite like the Wii version.
What are you buying? What are you selling? Is that all, stranger?
all classic lines of dialogue from Capcom there. Yeah. But I guess sticking with the Resi theme though, an actual scary game is the remake for Resident Evil 1. And that the remake of the remake
of the remake
of the remake.
Technically, is the third one, but yeah,
that still holds up quite nice. And that is, at least I find that genuinely spooky, especially if you play it with the lights off. Very atmospheric. The fact that later on the enemies can also move from room to room. They kind of break up the conventions. They invade your save points at later on in the game. It breaks those rules, and those are the things which at least for me can really scare me. Because I feel safe now because I'm in one of these save points and I know nothing can harm me here. Yeah. And you do 50 times later, like a zombie gets you. So what are you doing there?
Yeah. Have you played?
It's not allowed.
Have you played PT on
I've
PS4?
not. No, I've not touched PT.
I recorded.
I'm not gonna have much of a chance anymore, am I?
Yeah, that's true. You haven't really got much of a chance at all. You're screwed there.
I'm gonna have to hit YouTube because I've not done that yet.
You see, I'm gonna plug in my channel now.
Oh, you got it on your channel, have you?
No, on PlayStation Impact Gaming on my PlayStation channel, I
Yeah.
actually I've two videos. I have two reaction videos. One with just audio and one with the video.
Yeah.
But like on the second one, I get my friend Mark to control me basically. Even though I'm holding the gamepad, he like we're talking on Skype. He can see my screen, and he tells me what to do. And so he basically has kind of full control of what I'm doing. And then like if I turn, you one could just turn up. But honestly, like when I was playing that, I was like scared shitless. I was sweating. Even playing Sender or The Arrival, I have it on the channel. I actually had to stop recording because I was fucking sweating.
Yeah.
It's that
Wow.
terrifying.
That's good. I'm gonna have to check that out after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I will try again, but I'll probably fail.
You should, yeah.
I don't know.
I can't really say much because I don't really have much comprehension of what it actually is yet. I mean, I've heard weird bits. Oh, you're walking down the same corridor or something. I don't really know much more than that.
Yeah. Have you got Revelations 1 or 2?
The first one.
First one's brilliant, I think.
Yeah. Well, I've not touched the second, but yeah, I played Revelations on the 3DS.
It's actually better on 3DS, I think, than Wii U.
It's a good-looking 3DS game as well, especially how early that game came out.
Oh, it's probably the best, well, one of the best looking for 3DS. It's amazing.
Yeah, if like Capcom just kept going with that sort of thing, like imagine the sort of stuff they'd be pumping out now on the 3DS.
Yeah. You know what? They actually had Resident Evil 5 running on 3DS, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's crazy to think of because that's a big game as well.
Yeah. And look what happened. They didn't even bring it. They should have brought it, But instead they brought Mercenaries from that game to 3DS. It wasn't bad looking, but Revelations looked way better.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And Revelations was more of an actual game.
Yeah.
Mercenaries.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The first time, you play it, it's like, whoa, like in the dark and everything. Like some of the monsters kind of scare you.
And I believe, like, because a lot of more modern 3DS games, they start dropping the 3D to, like, improve the graphics.
Yeah.
But like, at least from my memory, Revelations looked and performed really well in 3D as well.
Yeah, I know it ran in 30 FPS.
Yeah.
On and off in 3D, like. So, if you look at Ironfall Invasion, that ran 60 FPS in 2D mode.
Yeah.
But in 3D, it was in 30 FPS.
Yeah.
But it's probably the best looking, I guess, indie, like a quote-unquote small kind of company game on the 3DS. Have you played it yourself?
I have. I've not played much of it.
Yeah.
But it was free to play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I jumped in and played a bit of it. And I was impressed by the graphics. Yeah, very much so. It was striving for that. Oh, it's this like console-like experience on a 3DS.
Yeah.
And it did feel like that. Yeah.
Like I actually sent an email to them yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I would love to see it on the Switch, like some sort of port.
Yes. Yeah, imagine what they could do with that, with that sort of extra power as well.
Yeah, but like unfortunately, if you haven't heard, one of the developers, Fernando, he passed away this year.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, so like there was only 3 in the team, but like there's 2 now. But they might have extra people there, but I don't know what the story is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate though for them.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it's like a shame on every level, really.
Yeah, but like if you look at their history, like 2 of the guys in the group in VD Dev, like they have some of the best looking handheld games, like from the Game Boy era, upwards. Of what they could do, with the technology.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Like a developer which can squeeze out like as much graphical power out of a portable. I don't know. There's something like about that as a craft. Like they could be making console games, but they want to focus their attentions on this portable, and like graphically do the best thing they can with that.
Yeah. So can I ask what was your choice to not have voiceover in your game?
Okay. I think it was probably more of a simple decision between like was it worth it and how much it cost?
Yeah. Well, you have
Because
me to do it all, so.
well, yeah, but if we had this fateful encounter before,
Yeah, true.
yeah, maybe things would have turned out differently. Isn't that the story for many things?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt because there is a lot of text in the game, and like voice acting can go wrong. So I felt like if you were to do it, you have to do it properly, and to do it properly, it was going to cost a lot more than what I was hoping to achieve with the fundraising campaign. So it was, yeah, keep it more traditional. Yeah, and just have text on the screen.
Yeah. Like, would you be able to afford Mark Hamill?
Well, we could start a new Kickstarter campaign, and
Yeah.
we could aim high. We could see what happens.
So
See how the fans react.
yeah. So, like, did you hear about, is it Charles Martinet? I think that's how you say his second name. The voice of Mario and the other guys.
Yeah.
What is it? The old voice on Facebook. I don't know, was it a glitch? The former voice?
Yeah, that was all cleared up. But it was showing on his Facebook page, like, formerly worked at Nintendo. And things like that. And then everyone
freaking out over it.
Started to freak out. But apparently it wasn't just himself. Like a bunch of people on Facebook, their current jobs were saying like formerly or something like that. And it got cleared up a few hours later, and people started to.
Who you need for your game? You need Charles. You need me. You need David Hayter as well.
Well, Charles does do some indie stuff because he does the Runners series.
I don't really know much of his work outside Nintendo. I know he does Skyrim as well, doesn't he? The Dragon or something.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. So yeah, maybe next time he can voice Cora.
You can get Nolan North as well, Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Maybe Ashley Johnson. I don't know.
I think Nolan will be good for the Go-Go's actually. I think that's a good matchup.
Yeah. Like if you check at the cast of Minecraft Story Mode, is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's they've actually a couple of YouTubers, if I'm correct, for like one or two of the episodes.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and then they got like some, I don't know, a couple of big YouTubers, you know, and then they got like other people like Ashley Johnson to do voices as well, you know. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
pretty interesting choice.
So I feel it's subliminal messaging as like, yeah, you should get some YouTubers. Hint, hint. To the voice.
No, I'm not actually hinting at it at all, but I am now.
Yeah.
I don't know. What games are you getting for Christmas? I know it's early to talk about Christmas, but I don't care. It's November at this stage.
Yeah, I don't know, to be fair. I mean, I guess the unfortunate thing is, like, in terms of the big Nintendo releases, you know...
Zero.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've still not got Color Splash yet, so maybe I'll be getting that for Christmas.
I've no interest in that game at all.
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, it's mixed. It's definitely the mixed reception. So, and people seem to be in agreement of like the actual battle system isn't that good, but it's incredibly charming game, very witty, lots of character to it, and so yeah, that's quite conflicting.
Have you played Stick It to the Man?
I've not played Stick It to the Man, no.
That game is charming and witty. It's a puzzle platformer game.
How is its battle system though?
There's no battle system. Basically,
well, clearly Color Splash is better.
No, this is way better.
Okay.
Like you read minds in the game, so it's pretty cool.
Okay.
And you have to run away from people. So, the only battle system I guess is like sticking like your face as a sticker onto other bad guys, and they run after them and kind of kill them, kind of zap them.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, no, you should check it out. It's pretty funny.
Oh, awesome. How about yourself then? What's on your Christmas list?
Well, my early Christmas present that I know of so far, I'm getting PS4 Pro when it comes out, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yep.
Now, the reason why I'm actually getting it, to be honest, is because the thing is, there's three boys here, me and two brothers.
Yeah.
And we have a 500 gig PS4, which is tiny, for us.
Yeah.
Because there's games I want to play, and I can't even bloody play them because, the boys want to take... we need more room to update the game, So they take my stuff off,
Yeah.
Assholes. But so it's like I'm getting my own system and it's gonna be better. So it's like, screw you. I'm getting my own system.
Yeah, not only have I got my own, it's
Yeah,
better.
it's better as well. Yeah, and it's a terabyte, so I'm not gonna complain. Yeah, like you can stick in a hard drive, but it's like, there's no point for me at this stage. Like I have to, like it's the same price as the original anyway when it came out.
And it's future proofed.
Exactly. It's apparently it's 4K, but you know yourself. I am dying to see The Last of Us in 4K.
Yeah, well, do you have a 4K TV?
No. Exactly.
That's the other challenge.
That's my next thing.
Yeah.
So like my option was buy a PS4 Pro or get the PSVR.
Yeah, that's the other challenge.
See, there's nothing there for VR that it's like, oh my god, I have to get this just to play that game. There's nothing there really that I want.
Yeah, that's a tricky quandary really, because you can make that argument, but you could also make the same argument at the PS4 Pro.
True, but like, would you rather have better graphics, and a better overall system, like a faster system, or would you rather have your own little personal headset?
It's a tricky one. I mean, if I didn't need an extra system, I would probably go just straight with the VR, just because it complements it already. Like, it's not a replacement.
Well, it sort of replaces your TV, kind of.
Oh no, certainly. But I'm saying, like, I would lean more towards the VR than the PS4 Pro if I had the PS4 already. Because they're like roughly the same sort of price. But yeah, I don't know.
That's ridiculous. 400, like.
Yeah. It's a price accessory for sure.
Yeah. You see, the cheapest VR at the moment is actually like your smartphone device or your tablet, as such. Because like you can get like Google Cardboard or something, or like a VR, like a cheap headset online on eBay or something, and stick your phone in it, and away you go. You're playing games. Yeah. So I don't know. See, I don't think it's going to be. Maybe give it a year or two until it kind of gets bigger. But in saying that as well, PSVR is selling pretty well.
Well, that's good to hear. That's right, because I want VR to take off.
Yeah.
So developers actually give it a decent chance and make some proper games for it, and that it's a good cycle for development. But yeah, if it's all touch and go, then the big developers aren't going to pay it too much attention, and then it's never going to get off. And it's that vicious circle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've yet to try any sort of VR really.
I've tried the Oculus Rift. That's pretty good. Yeah. They had here uptown. They're advertising new internet. It's called Cyro. It's like 1,000 speed, a gigabyte, whatever of speed, like. And I think it was last year, whatever it was. Yeah, last October, believe it or not. And they were just showing off this app inside. It's like all the different kind of like wires and stuff, and you just had to move your head, and get 50 out of 50, which I did. There was only a few of us that got 50 out of 50. But but it was pretty smooth though. Like there was no delay, lag, or anything. So
sounds good. Yeah. I guess that's also one of the challenges of VR, though. It's like, it's really hard to show it off without putting it on your head.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like the 3DS, but not on your head.
Now, okay, would you call Wii U a sort of VR experience?
The Wii U?
Yeah, the gamepad. No. At all, no?
No, I think in terms of you can move it around while you're looking.
Yeah.
I think if there were more uses of it, I think you can make a better argument, because they showed a bunch of that stuff when they were kind of initially showing off the system, and the sort of prototype games. But I don't feel we really got much out of it in that sense.
Yeah, I remember watching the E3, whatever, the presentation that they showed off. One of the games which annoys me to this day still, it hasn't come out at all, where they're shooting Miyamoto in the window. Remember using like a sniper rifle using the gamepad, and that device add-on. They didn't release any of that at all.
No, well, the closest of that stuff is all built in Game & Wario. There's some things like that in there.
I don't care about that though.
And fair enough. Well, most of that stuff isn't worth caring about. But one part I will stick up for that game. It's got 4 multiplayer games, and they're quite fun with some local buddies.
Yeah.
They use the gamepad in weird ways, and it's quite fun to go back. I was always an oddity where I really like Nintendo Land, even from the get-go.
Oh, the games in that are brilliant. Like Pikmin and that. I think Pikmin is actually better in that there than in Pikmin 3. Now, people, don't kill me.
I'm not going to go that far, maybe.
Probably because of the whole, the weather system.
Yeah.
Like the night system, the daytime, whatever. It goes down, which annoys me. Because
I guess you weren't a fan of the first game then.
See, I haven't played the first game. I have it here, but I haven't played it yet.
Have you heard things which are putting you off from playing it?
I heard 2 was probably better than the rest of them because it actually got rid of that system. The whole.
I like I like all 3 in different ways. I do like the first one quite a lot because it's kind of its purest form of Pikmin. As in, I feel like that was kind of the game Miyamoto actually imagined Pikmin being originally, and so it's kind of like, it's almost a little bit like Majora's Mask in the sense like you have a fixed time limit. Well, at least the time's always ticking. And so the game is kind of resource management, and you've got a plan to do things in certain ways, or to do so much in a certain day. And so by the end of the 30 days, or before then, ideally, I guess, you have completed your mission. And so it gets quite stressful later on, depending on how you play the game. And it's a little bit flexible. Like, it's not incredibly tight, but you probably won't do it the first time either. But I quite like that. It's because it's quite different, really. But yeah, in 2, they let you... Actually, no, they didn't let you rewind. That wasn't until the 3rd game. But I don't think there was any sort of strict time limit. You just had to, collect a certain amount of things, and then your mission was completed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely recommend it, and especially if you own the thing. Is that the Wii version by any chance, or the original Cube one?
I have the Wii version.
All right, yeah, that works as well. That works well. I've played that one as well with the Wii remote.
Now, okay, speaking of Zelda. Okay, seeing as Breath of the Wild is coming out for the Wii U and the Switch, which one are you getting?
Well, assuming the Switch version doesn't come after the Wii U version, then I will be playing the Switch version.
See, the thing is the Wii U version going to be superior because it has the 2 screens with the map?
You never know. It could be. I mean, and that's the other thing. Like, we don't really know how powerful the Switch is yet. Because, like, you would assume it would be more than the Wii U, but it's also portable. The thing can run on batteries. I mean, there's a certain amount of physics involved and, expenses involved. And, like, it's going to be some magical bit of kit if it's cheaper than the Wii U and it is truly portable and it's truly more powerful. It's like, what's happened there? How did they make that big Wii U box so much smaller and chuck a battery in it?
Yeah.
And make it cheaper. But yeah, so you never know. It might be like ever so slightly not as good. I mean, that's a very unpopular opinion to say, but until they come out with the thing and the full details, I'm very skeptical because in a good way, it seems too good to be true.
See, people might get the 2 versions. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be like a Twilight Princess situation again.
Yeah, and if they do get 2 versions, well, people have the option, to...
Yeah, will they flip the world? Will they do something weird like that?
No, not even that. But I mean,
like
the game save. Like, will they be able to kind of access from different system? Like, will it be like an online kind of thing? You can download...
I very much doubt it. I don't think they would implement that just for Zelda.
Yeah.
I think that would have to be there before, like, there would have to be some sort of cloud saving in the Wii U in the first place for them to bother to do some sort of cross-system saving.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. I guess they're kind of hoping, like, with the Switch, because it's like you're all in one device, it's kind of like gets them out of doing like cloud saving and all that stuff and like the cross-buy, because in theory you don't need it. Because you buy the one game, and technically, yes, you can play it on the TV and you can play it on the go,
True.
Because it's the same box. And they didn't have to implement still.
Yeah, but like from
that
what
system.
I see online, like there's still rumors going around. You know yourself. If you stick it into the dock, it's
Yeah.
4K at 30 FPS. I don't know. Then
So yeah, so it gets more powerful. But yeah, that still applies. But like that, they could still do that without like actually doing a proper account system. You can move between different systems
yeah,
because you buy the game on your Switch, it's downloaded there, and you put it in the dock. It runs better. You take it away, but it's still the same software
still the
installed.
same. Yeah, exact same
Yeah,
game. Yeah, interesting to see what
yeah.
happens. What is it? Is it January the 12th or something? The 11th?
For us, it's the
Oh,
13th.
13th. Sorry, whatever. Yeah.
So it must be very early in the morning, I feel, for us. Because when Nintendo of America announced it, they said it's coming out, the announcement's on the 12th.
Oh.
Nintendo of Europe say it's the 13th. So you can kind of guess the time of it just about because of those statements.
They always do these announcements just to fix American people.
Yeah.
Damn you, American fans listening.
Yeah, well, this one's hosted in Japan, so that's going to be
Yeah.
We've not had one of those from Nintendo, at least in a while. Since what's Space World?
Okay, now what was your reaction to Satoru Iwata passing away?
Oh wow!
I haven't asked that question in a while, actually.
That was I kind of heard the news when I was at work, I think, and it really did shake me because it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And like the guy was he did so much at Nintendo, and it's not like like there's certain big things you can point to, like oh wow. I mean, I think it's first of all it's crazy how some people like thought he wasn't a good CEO, like because like the 3DS initially didn't do very well, and the Wii U or it's had its troubles definitely, but how do they so quickly forget the Wii and the DS?
Yeah.
Some of the most successful systems ever, and they were his first proper launches. But yeah, obviously going, I don't need to tell you guys all the great work he did, but I mean, going all the way back from, how and even before then, such a huge legacy he's had. And yeah, that really, really shook me. I really didn't know what to do. And because I love Nintendo so much, both, well, mostly making stuff, but, mostly playing stuff, but, even making, and I'm working with them, which is cool. And so, yeah, it was terrible. In terms of apart from like family and whatever, that was the most like shaken up I've been after hearing about someone passing by miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really terrible. Yeah. Why would you ask such a horrible question to me in this nice podcast?
Oh wow! Sorry for making conversation.
It's fine.
Okay, this may cheer you up. Are you buying Watch Dogs 2?
Watch Dogs 2. I still not played the first one, but I've not written off the second game.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer I guess the initial trailer in last year's E3, and it seemed alright. Yeah. I've not got a huge amount to say about it, but yeah, it looked like it had some good ideas behind it. You got some drones now, I think. Yeah, looks cool. The other thing the thing also in that conference, which I was more impressed with, and hardly anyone talked about, was a game called Steep, where you can either snowboard or
go skiing.
Or ski, or do other sort of activities down mountains.
Yeah.
And I thought that looked awesome. But yeah, no one really talked about that.
Could you imagine that in VR?
Oh, that would be great, yeah. But yeah, we've not had a good skiing, snowboarding game in a while, I feel.
Yeah, true, actually. I think the last good one was on like the N64 PS1 era.
Yeah. Well, I did like the GameCube's 1080 Avalanche.
I'd never played that one before.
It was really good, actually. Like the title suggests, at certain points there are avalanches. But
really? Wow.
Yeah, but to give to its, I mean, well, to be honest, when I picked it up, I just assumed it was just a random thing they slapped on it to make it sound cool. But they're kind of like these race sequences because you are like racing down the mountain to avoid being crushed by the avalanche, and it's really well done. It's like really dramatic, and like the snow effects are incredible. Like this just white powder is just filling the screen, and it feels like you're there. And like from someone who, well, I've never been through avalanches, but someone who likes to ski, it really felt good, like going down those mountains fast while his avalanches are chasing behind you. Yeah, that was really fun. But yeah, we've not heard a hint of another 1080 wave race since then, I guess.
Good.
Good. Oh,
Only messing. Okay, let's talk about the beautiful game that is DT, Devil's Third for Wii U.
oh yes.
Tell me your opinion on it.
It's a peculiar game, but it is a fun game. It's crazy. I mean, I never did finish it, and I mean, talking about you before, you do seem quite passionate about its multiplayer, and I feel quite bad because I didn't even touch it. I didn't really think about it. I was just kind of there because I heard a lot of mixed things about it. I wanted to check it out for myself, but I was kind of there for the story and the cutscenes and the character, and it delivered on that front. To be fair,
Mm-hmm.
and I did get
Ivan.
Ivan, yes. And just like the intro sequence alone, I played that with a bunch of different friends, just like to gauge their reactions of Ivan.
Oh,
And,
the prison cell.
yeah, it's just like it's a series of escalating events.
And the chicken.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, see, the reason why you mention it is because, like, it's pretty much November at this point. Next month, if I'm correct, the 16th, 15th, 16th, whatever it is, it's going offline, multiplayer.
Oh, that's a shame. I mean, you'd kind of thought they would like just at least stretch out a little bit longer until like the official baton pass of the Switch.
Yeah. Now, mention Switch. Thank you for mentioning it just there. Unreal Engine 4 is now compatible with the Switch, from what I've heard online. From what I think they announced it anyway, an official announcement. I see. The thing is, that game runs on Unreal Engine 3.
Yeah.
So I would love to see some sort of port brought to the Switch.
Yeah, because there's also a PC version, I believe.
Yeah, DT Online is coming to Europe. I don't know when. I've been asking the guys non-stop, and no date. And it looks amazing. There's even there's a new mode on it that it's not even on Wii U.
Oh, cool. Okay, so that's promising because
Yeah.
they didn't just freeze development afterwards.
No. They
Started
kept going
porting it.
with the Wii U. Sorry, with the PC version.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe we will see that appear on the Switch. Because like Nintendo did like fund the game, so maybe contractually, it's console exclusive, you know. So yeah, maybe a Switch version is actually in the works. Maybe maybe it's like maybe the way they do it is they do the online version, and so they deliver that same like PC one. So you download DT Online, and you play the multiplayer mode, and like that is like the new game.
I don't know. See, I know the story, the single player campaign is exclusive to Nintendo.
Yeah.
But the online is, Wii U and PC.
Yeah, but it's not on like other consoles though, is it?
No.
So I'm wondering if that was part of the deal. Maybe it was like, okay, you can still release this on PCs, but no other consoles because they're our competition.
I don't understand why they get to release it on PC considering Microsoft run it, PC systems.
I guess, but yeah, that's another weird thing is really because I think a lot of people like obviously they know Microsoft and Windows and they know Microsoft and Xbox, but they don't necessarily connect the two.
Yeah,
because like people go, I'm sticking it to the consoles and playing games on my PC. I was like, well, Microsoft's happy anyway. You take their money, really.
Yeah.
Like assuming you've got a proper version of Windows on there, they got money out of that. You're on their platform as much as you're on their platform and you're on an Xbox.
See, the game was meant to come out a few years ago, on PS3 and Xbox 360 from THQ, who were meant to be publishing it.
Yeah.
But, obviously they went to shit and they shut down. And then Nintendo picked up the publishing rights.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they did, to be honest.
Oh, definitely.
No,
Because if they didn't, I mean, it's sounding like probably just would have been dropped, and that would have been a terrible shame.
yeah, years of work, gone down the drain.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about in particular about your game?
Anything you can play with your buddies. So, like, it's a game which I think actually. So before I do, and I know I'm really going on tangents here. What
What's new?
exactly? So I'm going to ask you a question, and I will answer your question. If you had to say one game Twisted Fusion was most similar to, just the one, what game would that be?
Let's see.
No one gives the same answer, and I quite like that.
See, I haven't really played much games like your game, so I mean, like in that kind of way.
Mm.
Okay, like it's not every day you play a 2D kind of RPG game. If that makes sense.
Certainly, yeah.
Because
That's it wasn't based off a game like it. It was based off lots of games which are different from each other.
Yeah, exactly. Like Pokemon, I guess, Digimon, the whole kind of monster thing. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't see. Did I mention maybe Metroid or Castlevania or something? I can't remember exactly what I mentioned before. What it's like. I don't know what it's like.
Yeah, I mean, they're games it's similar to in a way, but it's obviously very different to them as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. That's right. There's no right answers there.
Wait, what answers are people giving?
Yeah, so some people say like Metroid because that's like the go-to. Oh, it's a platformer, but you're not running from left to right.
Yeah.
And like people just think Metroid. But it's definitely not Metroidvania, or at least I wouldn't call it that. But some people have. I think it's closest to the Shantae series, personally. Either that or Cave Story. One of those two. I think it's its closest, like, sibling. But yeah, even it's not a direct matcher either, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing I was going to talk about, multiplayer. So yeah, this is the game which, and there's a deliberate reason why I asked you this question. Most of those examples which come up of games it might be similar to are all single-player experiences only. Like the Cave Story, the Shantae, Metroid games. There's loads of games kind of similar in that vein. Castlevanias as well. They're all single-player experiences exclusively. But I found out they actually work very well as local co-op experiences. Because, especially like on the more Castlevania-y side of the scale, where you've got these RPG elements as well, it's fun. It's more fun to grind, and this is going to sound very peculiar, with friends. Because it just, you can be doing different things, like you could be tackling multiple monsters at the same time. It kind of it helps with the exploration because you got two heads or maybe more. You can bang it together to solve puzzles as well. And just personally, I find more things are more fun with more people, and that's another comment you can take out of context. But yeah, it's and another little thing it does, which a lot of games don't do, is you can literally drop in and drop out of multiplayer anytime. You can just pause, no matter whether you're in a boss, you're I don't know, I guess just in the village or in the towers or wherever you are in the game. Just pause it, add a player, drop a player if they're leaving for whatever reason. I like how it's flexible in that sense because I like my multiplayer games, and a lot of them are just, all right, let me finish up this boss, or let me finish up this stage, and I'll add you in. Or, we're playing this epic game together, and suddenly you have to leave. Now I don't really know how to continue because it expects two people to be playing now, and I don't really just want to quit the full game. And so yeah, that's a little thing I can talk about there.
I see. Well done.
Thank you. I know I did well there.
Yeah, talk about the price as well. What is it, like €5 or something? £4 as well?
Yeah, spot on. So the one you're missing is $5 if you pay in dollars.
$5.
Well, if you pay an American dollar.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other currencies I figured out as well. There's a lot of countries have
except
these shops.
Japanese.
Yeah, well, yeah, not that one.
Yeah.
I tried. Because in order to publish in Japan, you can't self-publish. A Japanese publisher has to publish your game.
Yeah, I see that all right.
And so, speaking to my good old developer buddy, RC Madiak, because he's had some of his games published in Japan.
Yeah.
And so this is another moment I was like, oh, hey, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
And he pointed me towards the company who did that for him very nicely.
Look, he's over here.
Yeah, and I'm happy to say this bit because I mean he did his part, but unfortunately for whatever reason, I didn't really get anywhere with this company. They're called Rainy Frog, and they just went cold all of a sudden. I was, oh no, I really wanted to have my game out in Japan. I've got a suspicion it might have been, it would have been a lot more of a task to localize my game.
Yeah,
than the typical Arcadiac game
and stuff.
Because the deal, well, okay, not any particular deal, but a hypothetical deal could be that they would do the localization for you, and then there's just a percentage worked out of profits, and so there are no upfront costs hypothetically, and yeah, so it's not much work your side, no, none of that stuff, and so that works a lot better, I assume, on smaller games with less work on their end than if I came up with this big game and go, okay, can you please localize all this into Japanese, please? That'd be very nice, thank you. And they look how long the Wii U's got left and all that, and go, probably not worth it for us.
Yeah.
That's me completely guessing, by the way.
Yeah, but that's the problem though as well, as in the Wii U time frame that's left until the Switch. What is it? Let's see, you've November, December. You've pretty much 4 months, like if you exclude March.
Yeah. So yeah, not long left.
No. So
I couldn't really delay this game any longer, could I?
No. Well done.
Thank you.
It's weird though. It's why March?
Because it's the end of the fiscal year, and that's something to be very happy about.
Yeah, true. But like, you think they would release maybe towards Christmas? As Christmas goodies. Kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I think that was the original plan, but obviously this Christmas.
Yeah, and it's actually what is it, like 6 years after 3DS release or something? It comes out.
Yeah, that came out in March, but then again, that was also delayed from a Christmas launch, I think, but more officially. I believe so.
I don't know.
I'm doubting myself now.
Yeah,
I think that's the case, though.
I see. So yeah, I guess thank you for coming on. Please plug in your podcast again before you go.
Ooh, yeah, I said I plugged it before, but I'm not actually sure I said what it was.
No.
So I also do a podcast.
Really?
It's kind of like this. People talk to each other about Nintendo. It's called Nintendo Voice, not the one which is very similar to that, run by much better and bigger people. It's Nintendo Voice. And you can find it on iTunes or other podcasting things, or go to nintendovoice.com, and it's on there. And we run it every week.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. This has been fun.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
Maybe someday you'll see me on the show.
This is true. Yeah, that would be cool.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Lewis, a massive thank you for coming on the show. You can check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. And for more Nintendo and for more gaming podcasts, right here. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay fresh.